displaying the glory of God's creation by exploring America one park at a time. Welcome to Parking Full Time with Big Dave, the park's professor. 10th hole. The par and distance are at the top of the screen. This hole plays from a slightly elevated tee, and so we're going to jump down to the fairway and then walk up to the basket. This is a very tight hole. It's a slight dogleg left, and it's the first of 4 fairly tight, heavily wooded holes. These 4 holes were added in a course redesign a few years ago, and honestly, they're my favorite holes on this course. There's the 10th basket, and there's the view back to the tee from behind the basket. The 11th hole is another fairly tight and heavily wooded hole. The fairway is fairly straight, and the ceiling is low but reasonable, unlike some of the holes that we saw on the front 9. So overall, this is a very pleasant, albeit somewhat unremarkable, challenge. I do want to welcome you back to Parking Full Time. I am Big Dave, the park's professor. We are at Van Buren State Park. We are in Northwest Ohio. We are a few miles north of Findlay, Ohio. We're coming up to the basket here. And there's the view back to the tee from behind the basket. The 12th hole is the longest and my favorite of the 4 heavily wooded holes. It's fairly straight, albeit it is a slight dogleg right. Most of the holes on this course have 2 tees, and we just walked over the forward tee right there. That is the reason I'm giving you the 2 distances at the top of the screen. That's the back tee and the forward tee. All of these video clips start at the back tee. The first 80% of this hole is very flat, but as we get up towards the basket, you're going to see this steep upgrade coming up here, and the basket is towards the top of the hill, but still in the woods. The basket is a hanging basket, as opposed to a regular pole basket, and therefore putting on this hole is more interesting than usual. I like that little touch. It adds a little bit of variety. The 13th tee is back down in the valley. To get there, you have to walk back towards the tee and then turn right as you're walking back towards the 12th tee. The 13th hole is a sharp dogleg right, and it's the last of the 4 heavily wooded holes. This isn't a long hole, but you're going to need an accurate left to right throw in order to get close to the basket on this hole. In general, I'm not in favor of cutting down trees, but the thought did occur to me that removing some of these really small trees would improve this hole. It would make the line of play wider and better defined. There's the view back to the tee. Now we head back out into the open, lightly wooded area where we're going to stay for the rest of the course. The 14th hole is a long par 3, and some of the problems that appeared on the front 9 reappear at this point. We threw over the park's main road there off of the tee. You can see there's also a smattering of picnic tables near the line of play, and therefore safety hazards abound. Also, some of these trees have really low limbs, and therefore there's a really low ceiling for such a long hole. And so the issues that we saw on the front 9 start to reappear at this point. This is a nice hole, but again it has a few issues. There's the 14th basket and the view back to the tee. Holes 14 through 18 all play west along the main park road. It's a decent walk from the basket to the next tee in most of those cases, but if you just follow the main park road to the west and look around, you'll find the next tee. The 15th hole again plays directly over the main park road, and there is a decent amount of vehicle traffic on that park road. There is one large tree off to the left, but an equally big hazard here is the wild grass that you see up here to the left, and in fact that wild grass surrounds the basket on 3 sides. So you're going to need a pretty accurate throw for this long hole to set up a good birdie opportunity here. There's the view back to the tee from behind the 15th basket. The 16th hole is the longest hole on this course if you're playing from the back tee. The fairway is plenty wide, and so you can really uncork one off of this tee. There is the main park road that we're crossing, and there are also going to be some picnic areas that you'll see when we get up close to the basket. This redesign was a good redesign. It turned this course from a course that honestly wasn't really worth playing into one that probably is. But there are some things you just can't control, and one of those things is that this course is really wedged in between the lake on the left and the park boundary on the right. There are some trees up here as we get close to the basket, and if you go with a right-to-left disc flight, that's the best way to get in around those trees. Here's the 16th basket. And there's the view back to the tee from behind the basket. The 17th hole plays across the park road one last time. There is a small tree directly between the tee and the basket. We're going to walk around the tree to the right, although you could also go around on the left. Either way you go, you've got to keep your disc low because there is a really low ceiling created by that tree. I captured this video on Friday, October the 11th, and it was a beautiful, warm and sunny day with temperatures in the mid-60s when I came here. The 18th hole plays between two rows of trees. There is a parking lot off to the right, but it's not quite the safety hazard that we've seen on some other holes. Overall, this is a decent course. It has a lot of safety hazards, and it has a lot of holes with frustratingly low ceilings, so it's probably not going to make your list of favorite courses. However, it's only a few miles off of I-75, and so for a quick round while you're driving through Northwest Ohio, it gets the job done. There's the 18th basket, and there's the view back to the tee from behind the basket. That is the end of the course. I want to thank you for watching. Have a great afternoon. Take care, and Lord bless.